with John Hale with the Courier Journal.
Can you just walk us through what your emotions have been like since May or whatever when you transferred and all the uncertainty and the process just getting longer than it felt like it was?
Well, it was a tough process. You had a pandemic in between. It was a tough decision, obviously. I was thinking about going professional, then talked with Coach Manning, changed my mind, thought about staying one more year at Wake Forest, have a great season, and then, we know what happened with Coach. Coach got fired pretty late, so it changed my plans, and then the Kentucky opportunity came up, and it's something that I couldn't refuse. I couldn't, I had to make that decision, and then the wait with my waiver and all that, it was tough. Even though Coach Kyle helped me a lot, supported me. Everybody in the organization here helped me a lot. They told me to stay positive at all times, and I did it. But sometimes it was tough. But it paid. Now it's good. Now it's official, and I'm part of the team, and I'm just really happy to be here.
What did you make of all the talk that you were kind of this X factor? If you were eligible, you're a national championship contender, and if not, they might not be. How did you handle that kind of pressure?
Honestly, it was something that I hear about, but as long as the season didn't start, all I can do is just focus on my work, focus on helping the team as much as I can at practice, getting the guys ready to face wherever we're going to face every night, be ready for battle, share my experience, and make the team better as a whole, and then we'll see the impact at the end of the season.
All right, next up we'll go with Kyle Tucker with The Athletic, and then Jerry Tipton will come to you next.
Olivier, what is the biggest difference to you about the experience here at Kentucky, the practices, whatever that might be, and then along those lines, who has been the biggest challenge to you as you go against those guys in practice every day?
I'll say the biggest difference is I think it's the culture here, the mindset. It's a winning culture. Not knocking on my old school or whatever. It's just different. Kentucky has a successful history. It's a great program, and it got high expectations. And you can feel that as soon as you step on campus and as soon as you start practices. But as far as my teammates and their impact challenging, I think everybody brings different stuff. Playing the 4 and the 5. You got guys like Lance Ware, really aggressive, really physical. He got a high motor. Then you got Isaiah with length, athleticism. Then you got Jacob, same thing. Everybody brings something different, and we're all making each other better every day.
Kyle, you good? All right, we'll go on to Jerry Tipton with the Herald Leader.
There we go. Olivier, I wondered this, and it might sound kind of goofy, but are you named after Laurence Olivier, or how did you get that name?
No, not at all. Might have to ask my parents about that, but I don't think so. Olivier, it's a common name in France, and it's the name of my godfather, and it had a big impact on my parents when I wasn't born yet, so they decided to give me his name.
And also, I wondered how you explain the dramatic improvements you've made over the last 3 or 4 years, numbers-wise, and I assume production-wise and game-wise. How does that play on your mind? How were you able to do that?
I think it's a little bit of everything, work, but also mental work. Obviously, when I came into college, I was only 189 pounds, so I gained a lot of weight since my freshman year. So first, it was really putting the work with my body, getting better in the weight room, understanding my position, and also at Wake, Coach Manning is a great coach. I learned so much playing on the post and being a presence inside. and I think it's also realizing all my skills and that I can have an impact on the team and how to grab rebounds all the time, being always focused on each possession to know how to make a difference really, and that's what helped me throughout my 3 years so far.
All right, next up, we're going to go with Aiden Alperstein, and then I'll go to William Kevorkian.
So I know you mentioned about the difference between the intensity and practices between Wake Forest and Kentucky, but you got to play for Danny Manning, a great coach, and now Hall of Famer John Calipari. What immediate differences have you noticed between how each program is ran?
I would say here the emphasis is really on helping the players being professionals as soon as possible. Because when you look back at every team, Kentucky guys don't stay 4 years most of the times, and I'll say that's the biggest difference, and it changed everything really from a coaching standpoint.
And you got a follow-up, or you good?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, next up, we'll go with William Kevorkian.
Thank you for taking the time to do this. I was wondering if you, could talk about how, obviously you're going into your 4th year now of American college basketball, but could you talk about your experience coming from overseas and how now in the NBA we're seeing more of an increase and an abundance of players, such as Luka Doncic or, Nicholas Batum or Vincent Poirier coming from overseas into the NBA? Just comment on that.
Yeah, I mean, Europe is on the rise, It's just something different. I mean, I think the game is really different, even though it's changing now in Europe. But there's so many stuff that are different. I mean, the way you play over there. Here, it's really more if you can make a difference by you individually as soon as you can. You go and take your guy. Over there, it's really more set plays and fundamentals and slower pace, finding not an open shot, it's really the best shot you can take every position. I mean, it's a different approach, but I think mixing both really makes a difference, and I think that's why guys now from Europe are making a difference in the league now.
All right, I'm assuming, William, you don't got a follow-up question, so we'll go with Alan. Alan, I don't want to butcher your last name here, so I'll let you I think you're up next.
Yeah, don't worry. Salut Olivier, ça va?
Ça va bien, merci.
Yeah, I had to talk in French. So just wanted to know, you talk about turning pro after the 2019-2020 NCAA season. Could you talk about what scouts maybe gave you, maybe some insights, and what you are looking for to work on your last season in college basketball?
So, I mean, since I didn't declare for the draft, I didn't have contact with scouts or feedback or anything. I had the feedback from the UAC, and I mean, really what I try to do this year is winning. That's why I came to Kentucky, and that's what I'm trying to bring to this team. Is that experience to win games. Really, it's whatever it takes, sacrifice whatever the team needs me to sacrifice, and play my role at my best. To help that team win and win the national championship. Really.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Bonne chance.
Merci.
All right, next up, we'll go with Chandler Wilcox, and then Gary Graves will come to you after that.
Hey, Olivier. My question is, going back to the NBA question, actually, is there a player that you maybe model your game after in the NBA or in Europe? Or I know we talk about, like, individualizing your game, but is there maybe a guy that you watch film of?
Yeah. I mean, it's a couple of guys, for a different part of the game. But currently, I really like Anthony Davis. I think I'm trying to model my game after him. He's a great defender. He can guard 1 through 5, and that's something that I try to incorporate in my game. But he's also a stretch 5, one of the best centers in the league and NBA champion. I also watch a lot of tape of Akeem Olajuwon for his footwork, counter moves and counter to counter moves and all type of stuff. He was also a great defender, all-around player. He could shoot as a big. So, I mean, all these guys, Tim Duncan, all these big guys, even LaMarcus Aldridge, I think, is an underrated big in the league right now. But he's a great mid-range scorer, and I think that's something that I try to put in my game.
All right. Gary Graves, I promise you next. You can go ahead.
Olivier, I guess with all the changes that the pandemic has caused this year, I guess how have you adjusted to the bubble environment at Kentucky, and has it created a new kind of discipline for you and how you go about things, especially knowing that that's going to help keep you on the court?
I mean, not really, honestly. That was my lifestyle before. I mean, it's my room, and then eating, and then going to the gym or the weight room. So it didn't change anything that much, other than bringing other guys closer to each other. Being in this bubble, we're really close to each other because we have no distraction. We're avoiding leaving the lodge, the residence, or just staying safe. So I think it's helping.
Gary, you got a follow-up? Or are you good?
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we'll go with, sorry if I butcher the name here, Aloui.
Hello, Olivier. How are you?
I'm good at you. Thank you.
So, why did you choose to take the risk of leaving Wake Forest, where you had great success at the end of last season, and you were lucky to be the team leader, to transfer out to Kentucky, where the competition is obviously stronger across the roster and at the number 5 position as well?
Yeah. So I decided to leave Wake because my Coach Manning got fired, and he was a great mentor for me, and he had plans for me. I decided to stay one more year, and Kentucky happened. The Kentucky opportunity came, and I felt like it was a great option for me to, being able to on a better, higher platform, where you got more attention and more chances, truthfully, to go deep in the tournament, and winning was my goal. Winning was something that I really wanted to do, and I tried to do that at Wake, and I tried my best to improve individually, but it showed our limits. So I really try to come to Kentucky and bring everything I had, my experience and all that, to help this team win. And I felt like talking with Coach Kyle, they needed experience on the front court at the big position, and obviously it's a lot of competition. It's a lot of great players on my position, but you can't look at that as pressure or anything negative. It's just helping me getting better and helping everybody getting better. So I think it's a win-win for me, win-win situation.
All right. Next, we're going to go with Tyler Thompson, Kentucky Sports Radio, and then Ken Spencer will come to you after that. Go ahead, Tyler.
Hey, Olivier. I know you've been in the States for several years now, but how would you explain Kentucky basketball to somebody back in France? Is it enough of a global brand that your friends and family understand the expectations and the pressure that come with it, the winning culture?
Yeah. So Kentucky is just, when you think about the best basketball program, Kentucky is definitely up there, if not the one. I think it's the winningest program in the nation. It's just like a factory of NBA players, a factory of just winning and winners in general. It's a team that always go deep in the tournament, Elite Eight, March Madness. Final Four and all that. It's just they got that tradition of cutting nets at the end of every season, and it's something that I was really drawn into, and that's one of the best programs in the country, really.
All right, Ken Spencer, you got next.
Yeah, Olivier, you were so important to everything that you guys did at Wake last year. How important is it for you to, and at times last year, I think you got yourself in a little bit of foul trouble. How important is that to work on that aspect of your game, still being aggressive defensively, but maybe not committing those kind of ticky-tack fouls?
Definitely, it's definitely important for me. It's something that we talk about a lot. I practice. It's an area in my game that I'm trying to improve a lot because I feel like I'm more available on the court than off the court for the team. So it's definitely something that I need to improve. My defense, it's part of my defense. It's not blaming whoever is on the court that I'm fouling. It's on me, and whether it's positioning, whether it's timing, or whatever, it's something that I really, really try to improve and work on.
All right, next up, we'll go with John Long, and then you guys will start to circle back around to some follow-ups. Go ahead, John.
Hey, Olivier, welcome to Lexington. I'm always intrigued by what visitors to this city, specifically international visitors, think about it. What are some of the things about Lexington that have been a pleasant surprise for you? And what are some things that may take you a little while to get used to?
So I haven't got a chance really to visit the city because of the situation, in the bubble. But from what I know, it's a lot of horses here. It's like the capital of horse. I mean, the races and all that. So that's interesting. That's pretty fun for me. Other than that, I can't say much other than this. There's a great fan base, honestly. You can feel it, even though I'm not going around and all that, moving around, visiting the city, but you can feel that, and that's something that's really cool as a player.
Tell me just a quick thing about your communication major and the academic transition to Kentucky. How has that gone?
It's going well. Thanks for asking. I mean, since I transferred, I got to take a lot of classes. 18 hours this semester, so it's pretty rough, but it's going well. Honestly, it's great professors, great school. It's going well. Thank you.
All right, guys, circling back to some follow-up questions. We've got about a little over 10 minutes here. So, John Hale, we'll start with you, and then Jerry will come to you.
Olivier, I read where you said you were a better soccer player than you were a basketball player growing up. I'm curious, who would you compare your soccer skills to? What kind of player were you? And then how did you come to basketball instead?
So I'm glad you noticed that. I mean, I played both at the same time. I played a lot of sports at the same time, and I was better at soccer than basketball. My favorite player is Ronaldinho from Barcelona. I can't compare myself to him, but I was playing the same position, midfield, and I was doing a little bit of everything, kicking from far, free kicks, corner kicks, playing a little bit of defense, and just organizing the offense. So, and then I was recruited by a professional team, but my dad hid the letter from that team, and he showed it to me like I think 2 or 3 years ago. And I think he kind of knew that I was going to be a little bit too tall to play midfield as a professionally soccer. So, he made the right decision, even though I was still a little bit upset, but he made the right decision.
Who was the team, if you can share?
Girondins de Bordeaux. Yeah.
All right, Jerry, we'll go to you next.
There we go. I'm wondering, Olivier, if you ever, I'm being facetious, if you ever parlez-vous français on the court or with teammates, maybe to a ref, you don't like his call and you can give him the business in French.
No, always respect the refs, never.
And Kentucky, they've had a lot of big guys, as you know, Anthony Davis and so on. I'm wondering if you can describe your game, what we should see when you've got it going.
I think I'm a versatile, kind of big, stretch 5, but also really great presence inside. I'm a great offensive rebounder, and I feel like I'm a great shooter too. I'm also a great defender. I still need to improve and being able to guard 1 through 5, but that's pretty much my game.
All right, we'll circle back around to Kyle Tucker with the Athletic.
I wonder how you would describe John Calipari and his coaching style, and also, I know everybody has one if they're around him long enough. What's your funniest Cal interaction so far?
Wait, can you say that one more time? I'm sorry.
Yeah, just how you describe Cal and his coaching style, and then your funniest interaction with him at this point.
Unbelievable coach. He gives so much confidence to his players, even though he wants us to build our own confidence by working out by ourselves, getting in the gym by ourselves. But he's really trying to get the best out of you, the best version of yourself. And he will show you your weaknesses and where you need to work on, but really put an emphasis on where you're good at and really bring that out as much as he can. And that's something that's, as a player, I mean, it just makes you want to work and get in the gym as much as you can. My funniest interaction with him, I'll say, is, it's when he called me to tell me the news that I was going to be able to play this season. I came to his office. I was running through the stairs and all that. Picked him up the floor. It was just, we were just happy, really.
All right, next up we'll go to William Kevorkian.
I read that your father played professional basketball in France. I was wondering, could you comment about how his play affected your decision to go into basketball and how he helped you and mentored you and was an influence early on and maybe even today?
Okay, so if I can bring a little bit of clarity in this, my dad did not play like professional, like people might think. He played like third division. Not really as a pro athlete. He played, but nothing really major that you can think he played as a high level overseas. But he knew a lot about basketball, and we always had a hoop at home and a basketball, and I always played with him. I got a great relationship with my dad, and it's levitating around basketball all the time. And I got a younger brother too, and it's something that's really big in the family, and it's something that we really love to be around each other and talk about basketball a lot. Yeah.
Guys, we got about 5 more minutes left. I'm going to go next to Alan and then Alois.
Olivier, you're going to play with potential lottery picks like PJ Boston, Terrence Clark, even top prospect like Devin Askew. Can you talk about those guys or training has been with those top prospects?
Great. These guys, 3 guys you named, like the entirety of the team. Great work ethic, great young guys. They're always willing to listen to any advices that the older guys like myself or Davion or even Keon or everybody has. They're always listening, asking questions, trying to get better every day. It's just fun to be around them. It makes my job easier as a leader because they always asking questions, like I said. But really talented and just great group of guys.
Thanks.
All right, Alois, we'll go to you next.
So I was wondering, how did you go through the waiting period for the waiver, and especially how confident you were in a positive answer from the NCAA to come and play to Kentucky?
Like I said earlier, it was a tough process, even though I was pretty confident. It was kind of a gamble taking that decision. It was a big factor in me leaving Wake Forest. The question of, am I going to be able to play next season right away? Coach Kyle he was really confident. He told me not to worry, and he knew that it would take a little bit of time. On my end, I was like, okay, no worries. I know it's gonna come, but I had still like a lot of questions in the back of my head. I was like, man, what if what if it's not happening? What if, you got to be able to project yourself. And it was kind of hard for these past few months. But I mean, the news came and now I'm able to play. So I'm just thankful.
All right, we're going to go back to Jerry Tipton, and we'll see if we have any more questions after that. Go ahead, Jerry.
Olivier, you said when Coach Cal called you to his office to tell you, to talk about you're cleared, you picked him up. I thought you said, how high did you pick him up? And tell us about that scene.
No, it was just funny, because every day, every time he steps in the gym, I'm like, hey coach, you got any news? Like you know when it's coming, you got something for me, you got good news. And he's always like, relax, it's coming. And I was in treatment that day and get a phone call from him. And I was like, I picked it up as soon as I saw it on my phone, and he's like, come to my office. So, I mean, I literally ran upstairs, and I came in, he was smiling, I already knew. And then he told me that, and I hugged him, we hugged each other. And I didn't really pick him up, but almost.
And I've read why you wear number 30. Why would you explain why that number?
So I wear number 30 for it. I mean, a lot of reasons. It's first, it's something that I look up to because it's the number of years my mom has on me, and it's something that it reminds me of her when I play. And also I'm a godfather now, and my goddaughter was born in July 30th. So, I play for a lot of women in my life. So both of them, and it's just something that reminds me of them.
All right, we'll go back to Kyle Tucker with The Athletic.
Yeah, you've talked about some things you want to improve and work on and all those things. And you mentioned, Cal will show you your weakness, but emphasize your strength. What's the one thing day one right now you can give this team at a high level?
Rebounds and great presence inside, and a lot of pick and pops shooting. Yeah.
All right, guys. We unless there's another question that pops in here in the next few seconds, I think we're just about out of time. Yep, we'll go ahead and end it there, guys. I really want to thank Olivier and for making time for everyone, and I do want to thank everyone's patience. And I know everybody wanted to talk to Olivier, so we appreciate you staying patient with us. So, as always, guys, we'll send out a partial transcript, and we'll send out the full replay of this later on this afternoon. You've got that video link as well that the press conference will be on, and we'll have some B-roll of Olivier in there. Otherwise, if you need anything else, just let us know. Thanks again, Olivier.